All right. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. It's your boy, Pigskin Pete. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Sorry about the beginning of the stream. I had an internet issue. I just had to change. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So we are here for the rankings tonight. Let me go ahead and put up on the screen. Then I'll acknowledge who is here in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put up, let's see, last week's rankings up there on the left where it says last week. That's the one. And Oklahoma at 10, Penn State at 9, Minnesota at 8, 7, Utah, Oregon 6, Bama 5, Georgia 4, Clemson 3, Ohio State 2, LSU 1. And if you guys watched the video that I posted a couple of days ago, no, that was yesterday, one I posted yesterday, here's my projections of what they're going to do this week. There you have it. I had Minnesota at 10. I don't know where they're going to drop Minnesota to. That's going to be one of the questionable ones. Penn State at 9. I had somebody comment and say, how could you have Penn State ahead of Minnesota when Minnesota beat Penn State? Well, I agree, but Minnesota was only ranked one spot ahead of Penn State last week, and they lost. So that's the reason I think that. I'm not saying that's the way it should be. It's just the way I think they're going to do it. Oklahoma at 8. Because of a win against an undefeated Baylor team on the road, even though they had to do a big comeback. Utah at 7, Oregon at 6, Alabama 5, Georgia 4, Clemson 3, and I flip-flopped LSU and Ohio State. Now, I don't know if they're going to. I think they're going to. I think you're going to see a lot of flip-flopping between those two teams for the next few weeks based on who they play and how they play. But my reasoning for that was the fact that LSU gave up 600 yards to Ole Miss. Now, I realized people quickly told me, they said, hey, Pete, Ohio State gave up 30 points or whatever to, not 30, 21 points, 3 touchdowns to Rutgers. Yeah, I understand. But I think I didn't see that entire game, and I'm pretty sure those are probably some trash touchdowns at the end of the game when Ohio State had their third string in there. I don't know. But we'll see. I think last week I was pretty close. I almost nailed it exactly last week. I think I had 2 teams switched. Everything else I got correct. And so we'll see how close I can get this week. Let me see who is in the chat real quick. Oh, good afternoon, RG. Little C7, Tiger Nation's in the house. Christian Ballard, Roll Tide, Pete, prayers for Tua. Yes, prayers for Tua. Jameel Stevens, Michael Lynch, Uncle Luke. Slim Shady Canes is in the house. FYI, 157 southbound in Missouri is shut down. I'm stuck in it. Well, that sucks, sir. It's a good thing that I'm here live for you on YouTube, and YouTube. Uncle Luke just got me confused there. Joseph Gibson, Shane 17, Clemson alum 98, Vodka Drinker. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. Oh, by the way, big announcement. For all of the Clemson fans that are watching, click the description box. Click the link in the description. I've been telling you that I've had a T-shirt designed for Clemson fans, a Cycling Out T-shirt. Well, it's finally up. It's finally for sale. Now, what I have is a classic tee. That comes in purple and black in all different sizes. A hoodie, they come in white, black, and gray. I think the black ones look the best, honestly. The purple shirts are all right, too. And then a V-neck tee that comes in purple and black. So you can there's a link in the description of the video. Click that link. You can go look at it. Here's the one thing I don't like about this is when you go to the website, I have to figure out how to fix this. When you go to the website and it shows the T-shirt, it shows the back of the T-shirt, and then you have to click something to look at the front of the T-shirt. I don't know why they don't display the front of the T-shirt first. But anyways, you'll see what I'm talking about. I do have the Howard's Rock logo, the microphone, the howardsrock.net logo, that microphone with the paw on it there. That's on the back of the shirt. You know, it's not real big. But the front of the shirt is the Cycling Out part of it. And what it is, and you can go look at it, it's a tiger riding a unicycle And in one hand, he has a national championship trophy. In the other hand, he's strangling a chicken. And, of course, it says cycling out on the bottom of that. And that's an inside thing for Clemson and South Carolina fans, the whole cycling out things. Yeah, some of the other fan bases may not even know what that means. But there you go. Go check it out. I'm about to order myself. I mean, it's perfect timing. We got Christmas coming up. We got the South Carolina game coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna order myself a couple of black ones and purple ones probably, and then buy some for some gifts for my family too as well. All right, guys. So go ahead and let me know what you think. What do you think? I mean, you can see what my projections are there, what they're going to do this week. Where am I wrong? Somebody tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm right. Tell me whatever you want to tell me. The image for the shirt, I designed it. We have a graphic designer, and I told her what I wanted. I just told her everything I told you. I said I want a tiger on a unicycle with a national championship trophy in one hand and strangling a chicken in the other hand and cycling out on it. And that's the design they came up with, and I loved it. What's up, Country Tiger? Yeah, as far as the hoodies go, so there was two different kind of hoodies. They had just a classic, cotton hoodie, and they had the premium hoodie, which is like a cotton blend. It's a heavier material. It's more like what I'm wearing right here, right now. Just a better thing. So I didn't want to put the crappy classic cotton one on there. That's going to shrink, half its size after one wash. So I got this. It's like $6 more for the premium hoodie. And I think if you're paying that much for a hoodie in the first place, then you'd rather get the better one. At least that's how I am. I'd rather much have a heavier, thicker fabric than just a classic cotton one. So that's the reason that I got the premium hoodie instead of the classic one. What's up, Mundungus Nick? I'm an Ohio State fan. I'd be surprised if we end up jumping LSU. Your reasoning seems sound, though. Yeah, I don't know if that. I don't. That's just a guess. I mean, LSU didn't really do anything to lose that number one spot. But see, here's the thing, though. The first rankings that came out, they had Ohio State 1. And I didn't think that Ohio State did anything last week to lose that number one spot, but they still moved LSU up because they beat Alabama. So I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot of flip-flopping between those two. Mr. Troll says, I'm a Georgia fan, but I think that Clemson and Ohio State are the two best teams. I hate to admit it, but that's what I think. Yeah, a couple of minutes ago before I came on here, I'm going to see if I can find this comment this guy left me. I always love these comments. With these people with the bias. I was on Mark Rogers' show. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago. And that was the main theme in the comment section. Where'd you get this guy? He's a Clemson fan. He's biased. And I hear that crap all the time on my channel, too. Look, let me explain something to you. If you are watching my YouTube channel, there's a 99% chance that you're a college football fan because that's all I do on here is college football, right? So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. If you're a college football fan, there's a 99% chance that you're a fan of a certain team, whether that be Ohio State or Clemson or Oregon or who knows. It could be Wofford for all I know. So what makes me biased, in my opinion, on the way things are going on in college football, but you're a fan of a team and you're not biased? Somebody answer that for me. Look, would you rather me do like these assholes on ESPN do and pretend not to be biased, but really are biased? Does anybody think that Paul Feinbaum's not biased? Does anybody think that Joel Klatt working for the Big Ten is not biased? Of course they are. They're just not wearing the shirt with their team name on it. But they're biased, believe me. So yeah, I'll admit I'm biased. But if you're watching me, so are you. We're still going to make the playoffs, says Tyler. I think Tyler is a Minnesota fan. Yeah. First of all, I don't even know how it's possible for me to be biased when I'm projecting what somebody else is going to do. If I'm biased, I'd have Clemson at number 1 in all these different rankings, wouldn't I? I mean, I think Clemson's the best team in the country personally. So if I was really biased, I'd have Clemson at number 1 every week. I haven't had Clemson number 1 yet. I had him number 5 the first week, I think. But yeah, I don't know. People are crazy. Desmond Howard has never picked against Michigan. Are you sure about that? I would challenge you on that. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling he's picked against Michigan before. That's shaping up to be a pretty interesting game, actually. Michigan, I give Michigan fans a lot of hell. That's why you won't see any of them on here because they all hate me. Because I love to troll them because they're so much fun to troll and they're very easily triggered. But they're a good team, and that's shaping up to end up being an interesting game. That game is in Ann Arbor, and there's going to be a lot riding on that. So, but look, at the end of the day, I don't care if Michigan is only a 2-loss team and they lost to 2 good teams. They're not on Ohio State's level. The only way that Michigan's going to win that game is if Ohio State blows it. Michigan better watch out for Indiana. Yeah, actually, you're right. Indiana's not a bad team this year. But I also think that this week, I think Ohio State's going to kind of expose Penn State. I mean, I think Minnesota kind of already did that. I mean, I'm not saying Penn State's a bad team or anything, but I don't know. I can't see. I think you're going to see. Well, if you saw my Bet Now video, I had Ohio State covering the spread plus more, and it was they're an 18-point favorite. I think they're going to kick Penn State's ass, really. Tyler says Utah is better than Oregon. I don't know about that. They probably have a better defense, but I don't think they're offensively they're better than Oregon. We'll find out soon enough. They're going to end up playing each other in the Pac-12 title game. What do I think the percentage that Utah gets in? If Utah wins out, I think it's a 100% chance they get in. Either Oregon or Utah, if they win out and win the Pac-12 with 1 loss, I think either one of those teams is going to get in. But that also a lot of that depends on what Georgia does. Georgia's the fly in the ointment. Georgia controls whether or not 2 teams get in the SEC, from the SEC into the playoffs, in my opinion. If Georgia wins, you'll have 2 SEC teams in there because Georgia will get in as an SEC champ, and I think they'll put LSU in there as well. So that's the only scenario I could see 2 SEC teams getting in there. If Georgia doesn't win and LSU just wins out and goes undefeated, then in that case, I think you're going to see a 1-loss Pac-12 champ get in as the 4th spot. There are a lot of trap games this week. There's a lot of crap games this week, too. I don't know about trap, but yeah. Hot, crap, trap. I mean, which trap games are you thinking about? Looks like the show's coming on here. Do I think Ohio State will make it? Yes, I do. I think Ohio State and Clemson are the 2 best teams in the country. So that answers that question. Now, obviously, Ohio State has a much harder road to get there than Clemson does, but I still think they're better than anybody on their schedule. All right, let's get this. They like to drag this stuff out, don't they? Yeah, trap games and crap games and nap games. And I'm actually going to be out of town. I'm going out of town this weekend up to Asheville, North Carolina. I've never been there. Anybody ever been there? Got any suggestions for something for me to do? Going up there with Mrs. Peete and a couple of our friends for about a 3-day weekend. So anyway, I specifically scheduled the vacation that we're taking, this 3-day vacation to Asheville for this weekend because one reason Clemson's on a bye and there's just not really a bunch of great games. So I'm not going to miss a whole lot. I doubt I'll be watching a lot of TV while I'm up there. Baltimore House, Baltimore Estate. I remember my wife mentioning something about that. Oh, the Biltmore. The Biltmore. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. Yeah, the Biltmore is definitely something I want to do. And we're staying in some mountain, in some cabin somewhere. I don't know how far it is from the city, but there's a bunch of breweries there. I'll definitely be. I love Sierra Nevada anyway. I'll probably definitely hit that up. I've heard they have a bunch of local breweries that are good there. Believe me, I can visit the local breweries all day, every day, and be fine because I love beer. What's up, Catfish? How you doing? Volunteer Roadshow in the house. Jerry Go Deep. Arizona State ain't no trap game for Oregon. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, I guess it's not like completely out of possibility that Arizona State could beat Oregon, but that would be an upset. Carry my big wallet. I only got one size wallet. I'll carry my big credit card though. How about that? Andre Romero says, "Can we please get Bama in?" I was watching something a couple of minutes before I came on the stream here, where they on ESPN, where they had the predictors with a certain percent chance for teams to make the playoff in Vegas, and the Vegas odds for the national championship. So right now, Ohio State leads the odds in Vegas to win the national championship. Clemson is right behind them. Then it goes. The third one I think they said was LSU, and then the fourth one was I think Oregon. Georgia was all the way down to like 20% to win the national championship. But here's the crazy part of this. The predictor as far as the chance to make the playoffs, Alabama had a higher chance of making the playoffs than Georgia did in this stupid predictor, which I don't see the reasoning in that. Now I don't think that predictor probably takes into account the fact that Tua is hurt. I think it's just like they just plug in stats or whatever and resume. So I don't know. I don't see a scenario where Alabama gets in ahead of Georgia, even if Georgia loses. It's gonna be extremely hard for Alabama to get in at this point, especially if the Pac-12 teams continue to win, and the Big 12 team if Oklahoma continues to win even. If Bama blows out Auburn without Tua, we should make it. Andre, you're gonna need help. You're gonna need other teams to lose. Here we go. 25 SMU, 24 Appalachian State, 23 Southern Cal, 22 Iowa State, 21 Oklahoma State. Still no love for Virginia Tech, huh? They won 5 in a row. I thought they would be in the top 25 this week. I guess they still possibly could be, but I thought they would have been somewhere between 21 and 25. All right, there's 20 is Boise State, 19 Cincinnati, 18 Memphis, 17 Iowa, 16 Notre Dame. What's up, Butchers Block and Patriots Talk? Rum Boys Northeast finally caught me live. Well, welcome to the stream, sure. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. But I already know that. Look at how many Group of 5 teams are in the top 25. Look, I get it. There's a bunch of good teams in the Group of 5, but I think there's probably some 2-loss teams in the Power 5 that have better resumes than these people do. Iowa State. They haven't said Iowa State, did they? Maybe they did. All right, 15 Auburn, 14 Baylor, 13 Michigan, 12 Wisconsin, 11 Florida. So right now I'm looking like a genius. Because I would question whether or not they would put Florida back at 10, but they left them at 11. So I think what you're going to see, you can see on the right-hand side of the screen there where it says this week, I'm looking for Minnesota to come in at 10, Penn State at 9, and Oklahoma at 8. We'll see if they come in that order or not. Minnesota 10. Now, somebody came on and told me I was an idiot for saying that Minnesota would be ranked behind Penn State when Minnesota beat Penn State. Well, there you have it, folks. Minnesota at 10, right where I had them. So who's the idiot now? Nine, Oklahoma. So I had Oklahoma at 8 and Penn State at 9. But obviously it's going to be Oklahoma at 9 and Penn State at 8. So not only did they have Minnesota ranked behind Penn State, but they had them ranked 2 spots behind Penn State. There you go, Penn State at 8. I think Iowa State was like 22 or something. 7 Utah, which is what I had. 7 Utah. So far, I've got 2 out of the 4 that they've showed so far in the exact spot here in the top 10. So I think the rest of them are pretty predictable until you get down to 2 and 1, right? I mean, Oregon's going to be 6, right? And then Alabama at 5. I think they're going to go from 1 up now. That's what they do. They switch it up from counting down to counting up. Why do they have this dramatic music? Yeah, I don't know. It make it sound like a war movie or something. Like somebody's about to go into battle, get their head blown off. Big 12 is getting disrespected, says Sahas. I don't know. They have a lot of Big 12 teams ranked. And this is what I tried to warn people of, because people that were complaining about Oklahoma possibly moving up from where they were last week. And the reason I had them moving up, which they did, is because they moved up 1 spot. They were 10 last week, right? Yeah, they moved up 1 spot. It's because I know that they struggled against Baylor, but they beat Baylor on the road, and Baylor was an undefeated team. So that's why. Ryan says OU still has a chance. Everything they need to happen went their way. They needed a close win. Yeah. I don't know if Baylor's overrated. I mean, Baylor played them tough, didn't they? I got a super chat from Butchers and Block Patriots Talk. For being that dude, keep up the great work. Pete, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You're amazing. Thank you for the super chat, sir. The rankings always favor the SEC. Well, you're not going to get any argument from me about that. LSU at 1, so I was wrong. I thought they might switch them. Wasn't too sure about that. But anyway, LSU 1. They stay where they stayed last week. Ohio State's going to be 2. Right? Yeah. Ohio State 2. Clemson will stay at 3. So no surprise there. Clemson at 3. Georgia will stay at 4. They had a win against a top, top 15 team in Auburn on the road. They'll stay at 4. That's where they were last week. And I think 5 and 6 are going to be the same as they were last week. So not a whole lot of movement this week. Really, the only thing that happened was Minnesota moved up to 10, and Oklahoma moved down a spot and pushed Penn State down a spot. That's the only real difference in the entire top 10. So nothing to see here, folks, apparently. Oh, Oregon is not unbeaten. They lost to Auburn. Who said they were unbeaten? Yeah, Oregon's 9-1. They've won 9 games in a row. Honestly, if you watch that Oregon and Auburn game, Oregon had them beat. It was really sort of a fluke into the game play that Auburn won. But hey, they won. That's all that matters. Anthony Manzano, bro, Bama is done for the year. I would have to agree. Pete, if they put up Alabama in the top 4, I'm calling an SEC favoritism ahead of Oregon. Well, people are going to say there's the SEC favoritism anyway, whether no matter where they have Alabama. But I even heard something. Or I don't know how true this is. I read that the students at Ohio State are boycotting game day coming there because they think there's an SEC bias for ESPN. Can somebody confirm or deny that for me if you're an Ohio State Buckeye fan and you're in here? But unfortunately for game day, you have I guess it's the Fox. The Fox pregame show is there. And, of course, Urban Meyer's on that panel. So they'll probably watch him instead anyway. Georgia and Clemson need to lose, and we ain't done yet. Pete, well, Clemson, I mean, the chances that they lose with who's left on their schedule is pretty slim. So you're going to probably have to hope for Georgia to lose, Christian, and maybe somebody else too. What do you want me to say about the offensive line? I mean, they have one of the best offensive lines in the country. Okay, so you're an Ohio State student and you're going to go. All right, so I guess that's a bunch of BS. Probably it's just a bunch of idiots on Twitter trying to start something. Nick says an Alabama team without Tua will not be in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't. I think it has less to do with Tua than it just does the fact that there's so many other teams that would have a chance to go ahead of Alabama at this point. And without Alabama being able to play for an SEC championship, that's going to hurt them this year. And I know it did. I know they got in before in the same situation, but this is a different situation this year. There's more teams that are knocking on the door to get that fourth spot than there were a couple of years ago. I'm boycotting boycotters. You sound like me. That sounds like something I would say. Do I think Georgia can get in the playoffs? Sure. Yeah. Of course they can. All they got to do is win out. I mean, that's it. They hold all the cards, but they have to win the SEC. Otherwise, they're not getting in. Christian says he's going to be in my neck of the woods next week for Thanksgiving. I think national championship is Ohio State versus Clemson. We'll see. I think I would tend to agree with you there, but they won't be a national championship between Ohio State and Clemson if they end up playing each other in the first round, which is certainly possible. If Clemson stays at 3 and Ohio State stays at 2 for the rest of the year, then they'll play each other in the first round. Yeah. George says he hopes South Carolina beats Clemson. It's going to be a rough day for you then, sir. You might not want to watch the second half. Just turn it off at halftime. Send your second string TV viewer in for you for the second half. You're not going to be too pleased. Do you think South Carolina will get rid of Muschamp? If y'all beat them, say 70-3, which is possible, what's my thoughts? I don't think they're going to get rid of Will Muschamp this year. I think they would if they could. I don't think they can afford to. So, what we saw happen with Willie Taggart and then that ginormous buyout they did for him, that's the exception, not the rule. Most schools are not willing to fork out $18 million to buy a coach out. So I think he'll be there for at least one more year. And next year will be a hot seat year for him. In other words, he'll have to either win 9 or 10 games or something and make everybody happy, or he'll get fired after next year. It won't be this year, though. No matter what the score is with Clemson. I mean, they've already missed the postseason. They're not going bowling. Yeah, bad year for them. Lee Corso sounds like Trump. What? I don't know about that. All right, guys. Look, I appreciate everybody stopping in. Just wanted to do a live stream for this countdown video. So there you guys have it. I was pretty close in my predictions. I got LSU and Ohio State flipped the wrong way, and I got Penn State and Ohio State flipped the wrong way. I'm sorry, Penn State and Oklahoma flipped the wrong way. Everything else I got right. Tell me how wrong I was, even though I was right. I always love those comments. Again, if you're a Clemson fan and you're here right now, go check out the T-shirt that I just put up for sale today. Cycling Out T-shirt. Again, I got a hoodie in white, black, and gray. I got a classic T-shirt in purple and black. And I've got a V-neck T-shirt if you prefer V-necks in purple and black. Go check them out. Get them for somebody for Christmas. You'll love them. I've got mine on the way. I ordered mine about an hour ago. So, all right. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping in. You're all great. You're all amazing. You're all fantastic. Pigskin Pete is checking out.